In His Image, starring John Hurd, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by Charles Beaumont. Heard in the cast were Alyssa Fraden, Ann Whitney, Darren Stevens, Jeff Lupetin, Meg Falcon, Elizabeth Lido, Carl Amari, Doug James, Jason Mallow, and Kip Karstedt. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Jason Mallow for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Morning.
Morning, officer.
Trying to beat the rush, huh?
What's that?
The morning rush.
Oh, yeah.
Going to work early?
Not today. Today I'm going out of town.
Pretty smart. Another hour, so many people getting on the subway, you'll think you're in Grand Central Station. Now, you're just getting up, fixing coffee.
I know, it's weird. With the streets so empty, I didn't even take time for coffee. Wish I could get some.
Not around here.
I thought there'd be a 24-hour coffee shop or something.
All closed. Gotta shut down sometime. Clean up.
Yeah, well, have a good day.
Take her easy.
The trains run this early, don't they?
24/7. Right down the stairs.
Thanks. What's that sound?
Young man,
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
are you sick, young man?
Me?
You look sick. My husband looked like that just before he died. All white and pasty.
I'm all right.
Just what he said. The same words. I'm all right. Went to bed. Next morning there he was, sprawled out, dead. You don't drink, do you?
No.
That's what killed my Jack. I told him it was the devil's work, but he wouldn't listen. And look where he is now.
Is that right?
Oh, the devil's all around us, mister. And if we don't fight him, if we don't stand up to him, we'll suffer eternal torment.
I'm sure you're right.
I know I am. And I'll tell you how I know. It was a Sunday. I was ironing, if you please, and that's when it happened. The good Lord's own sweet voice, like an electricity shock. I was revelated. Oh, praise him, mister, and praise his good works.
I will.
Do you read the good book?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, sure you're telling the truth now. We may be underground, but he hears every word.
I have to go. The train's coming.
I don't hear any train. Leviticus chapter 5, verse 2.
Perfect. You're perfect. What?
Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he shall also be unclean and guilty.
If you're not perfect, then kill, and end it now. Please.
Don't you want to be saved?
No, I just want to be left alone.
We're never alone. Don't you know that? He's with us all the time, and he'll help us if we only let him. But we've got to be saved first. Read this pamphlet.
All right.
The devil means to have you, but I won't let him. I'll fight with you, mister.
My train.
The train to glory. Get on board.
Stop, please, stop.
Listen to me. It's your salvation.
Kill. Get away from me.
What are you doing? Stop. No.
Ann's name!
She fell on the tracks.
I couldn't stop!
Hey, that man pushed her.
Hey, somebody stop him! Somebody!
Get away from me!
Incident in a subway station. It could be the end of a particularly terrifying nightmare, but it isn't. It's the beginning. The young man's name is Alan Talbot, and although he doesn't know it yet, he has a ticket to a strange new world that's too real to be a dream. A living nightmare that begins at a stop called the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, In His Image, starring John Hurd, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Yes?
Sorry to bother you, ma'am, but see, I belong to the Junior Woodchucks, and if you'll just buy a 10-year subscription to the Ladies' Home Companion, I'll get to go to summer camp. What do you think?
I think you'd better come in.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Ready?
And willing. Surprised?
A little. Come here.
Hey, now, Tiger. I told you there are lines I don't cross.
I know. I was gonna wait till we got married, but I lost my self-control for a second.
Well, you look around for it while I pour the coffee.
Thanks.
How come so late?
Who's late?
You are.
What, 5 minutes?
Try 45.
Ooh, honey, I told you to get rid of that sundial.
Okay, so you overslept. Just remember, leaving at 6 a.m. wasn't my idea.
Look, I did not oversleep. I left the hotel at 4:30, got on a subway train, got off the subway, and came here. Therefore,
you must have stopped off for a couple of short beers. It's now 6:45. Look at your watch. See?
Yeah, I see. But I don't understand.
I do. You were enjoying those last moments of freedom. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
Well, you said you wanted to bring some food along, so I roasted us a chicken. Looks like it got a little crispy.
Jess? Are you sure?
What do you mean?
You know what you're doing?
Of course I do. I, a 31-year-old spinster of sound mind and body, am going to run away to a town I've never heard of for the purpose of marrying a guy I've known exactly 4 days. Anything odd about that?
I'm serious.
So am I.
I mean, shouldn't you get to know a little more about me?
Like what? I know that your name is Alan Talbot. I know that you live in Coraville, New York, in a big white house surrounded by rose bushes and trees. I know that you do scientific research on some kind of weapons device for the government.
Not weapons, computer electronics. See? Already you're romanticizing me.
Don't interrupt. You are visiting New York City for the pure morbid pleasure of it, currently rooming at the Chesterfield Inn. You make a modest but adequate salary. You're kind to small animals and chestnut vendors. And let's see, you're terribly lonely and in desperate need of a woman 5 feet 9 inches tall, answering to the name of Jessica Connolly, right?
Right.
And you are single.
At the moment.
Well then, we'll just have to do something about that. Here, wrap the chicken in foil and put it in the picnic basket while I get the suitcase.
Sounds good to me.
Think I'll like Coraville?
Only if you happen to like great little towns full of warm, friendly people.
Only a week away from the place and already he's homesick. I better like it.
You will, and you'll love Aunt Mildred.
Well, are you going to stall all day, or are you going to make an honest woman out of me?
Let's go.
We must be nearly there, if you gave me the right directions. Alan?
No.
Go on then, sleep. You need it.
Walter, no.
Alan?
No. It isn't right. Send me back.
Hey,
What? What? Huh? What's the matter?
you were having a nightmare.
I was? Must have been the chicken.
You didn't care for it?
I didn't tell you, but chicken doesn't care much for me.
From the way you were thrashing around, I'd say it hates you. Who's Walter?
Who's who?
You kept yelling, Walter.
Well, this isn't the best time to tell you, but he happens to be my brother.
Oh? Well, I didn't know you had a brother.
Yeah, tragic case. We keep him locked up in the cellar, and I don't like to think about it.
Alan, you idiot.
Actually, I don't know any Walter.
Maybe you don't, but asleep, you're scared to death of him.
I said I don't know any Walter.
Okay. Grouch,
Sorry. Want me to drive?
if you like. Just be careful. I haven't got it paid for yet.
Slide over, we'll switch.
How far is this rustic paradise, anyhow?
Another few miles. You see that Scatter Creek?
Yes.
I played there when I was a kid. Every time I ran from home, I'd just get about this far to that grove of trees. Love Alley, we called it. Great place to take girls. What they used to call sparking.
How would you know?
Oh, my dear, among sparking circles, I was nicknamed the Human Electrode.
Lovely. What am I getting into?
What do you say we find out? Here we are.
Coraville. Population 3,250. Sounds cozy.
It is. That's the town square up ahead.
Alan, it's beautiful.
Didn't I tell you?
A little village. It reminds me of West Hampton. Trees, shops. Oh, look at that old hotel.
That's the New Brunswick. Got an ice cream parlor and a magazine rack. You can get cigarettes there, too, if you can prove you're 21. Mr. Van Brook's very strict about that.
Think I could pass?
Maybe not. And over there, to the right, you can't see it from here, but the library's down Oak Street.
Don't stop now. I want to see all of it. Alan?
I'm sorry, it's just,
What?
well, either I've got the worst memory in the world or they put up a new office building.
I see it. In a week?
Prefab, I guess. I tell you, young lady, that don't make things the way they used to. Oh, well, let's go.
Alan, do me a favor.
Sure.
Let's get something first. Before we meet the gang. Just a little glass of wine to take the edge off. All right?
Relax. In the first place, it isn't a gang, it's just on Mildred. In the second place, there aren't any bars in Corville.
Well, I thought I saw one a couple of blocks back.
Nope. Nearest place is Temple, 15 miles away. How about a coffee?
I guess that'll have to do. What a lovely lobby. Is this the way you remember it?
Well,
Something I could do for you folks?
where's the restaurant?
4 doors down, Kelsey's Cafe.
I mean the one here. What happened? You close it up?
Never had one here, just the hotel.
This is New Brunswick, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I see.
I know how absent-minded you scientists are, so you won't mind me asking. Are you sure we're in the right town?
Yes, I'm sure.
Well, don't snap at me.
Sorry. Look, Jess, let's just go on home, my home, and get something there.
Anything you say. Is that your Mr. Brooks behind the counter?
No, I don't know who he is. It's like 20 years have gone by or something. Everything's different.
I think you're just looking at things in a new way for the first time. I've lived near Times Square all my life, but I don't think I've really seen it for years.
That's probably it.
Now that's a classic house. 2 stories, Cape Cod style. And there are the trees and rose bushes.
Yeah, that's more like it. I'd recognize that anywhere. Like it?
And what if I didn't? Of course I do after listening to you. It's charming.
Almost home.
First thing we'll do is paint it pink.
Why not purple?
That'll work.
The key must be bent. Aunt Mildred! Aunt Mildred!
Hey, you're going to shake up the whole neighborhood.
Got to. She's hard of hearing.
What do you want?
I'm Alan Talbot.
So?
So, I happen to live here. Would you mind telling me who you are and what you're doing in my house?
Are you crazy?
Just a minute. Where's my aunt?
Who?
Mildred Talbot?
Now, mister, you listen to me. You made some kind of mistake. I live here. I've lived here for 9 years. Bought the place from Gerald Butler. I've got the deed to prove it. I don't know anybody named Mildred, and I don't know you. Now get off of my property or I'll call the sheriff.
Wait! What is going on?
Alan? Alan?
I'm back.
Get everything straightened out at City Hall?
Sure. I'm out of my mind.
Alan.
Well, I don't know what else to think. Somebody I never saw before in my life living in my house. The woman I had lunch with a week ago dead for 3 years. New buildings in town. According to the official records, it's all true.
Alan, I know this will sound crazy, but remember what you said when we tried to get coffee at that hotel? The one that didn't have a coffee shop? You said it was as though Coraville had aged 20 years.
20 years in a week.
What if it's true? What if 20 years have gone by somehow?
Rip Van Winkle?
Well, why not? It's a possibility, isn't it?
No. I thought of that, but it doesn't hold up. For one thing, it would make me at least 45. Unless I left town at the age of 10. And that couldn't be because I went to high school and college here. Except there aren't any records that I ever attended Corville High. And the university I work for, it doesn't exist. It never existed.
What about your aunt?
I just checked. There isn't a single trace of evidence that a Mildred Talbot ever lived here.
Well, it was an idea.
Let's go.
Where to now?
The cemetery. Good. Gate's open.
Alan, what are you doing this for?
Find out whether the world's gone crazy or I have. My parents are buried here, and if I can find their graves...
At least this cemetery's been here for a while. Look at the vines on the statues. Angels, stone crosses. Do you recognize anything?
Yes, over there. The 2 headstones side by side.
But I don't understand. Mary F. Cummings, Walter B. Cummings Sr. Is that your name, Cummings?
No.
Those the ones?
That's them, all right.
What do you want?
Leave him alone, please.
This man says you created a disturbance at his house.
It was a mistake.
Says you claimed it was your house.
I thought it was. I'm sorry.
You want to press charges?
Well, as long as he admits it, I guess not, but you better not come around again, young fella.
I won't.
Go on back to the car. I'll be along in a minute.
All right, Sheriff.
It was all a misunderstanding.
What's your name, son?
Alan Talbot.
This your wife?
No, my fiancée.
Well, Mr. Talbot, want to tell me what you're doing in Courville?
You're the sheriff?
That's right.
And I suppose you never heard of Carl Jasperson.
Sure, I heard of him. He's the man I replaced. You know him?
He's my godfather. Where can I find him?
Find him? Over there. By the monument.
You mean he's...
Here he is, Carl Jasperson.
I have to get out of here.
Alan!
Miss,
What do you want?
I can't force you to do anything because you haven't broken any laws. But I suggest you take him to a doctor. He looks sick.
You may be right.
Ain't my business, but the way he was staring at those graves. Is he kin to Walter Cummings?
I don't know. Now, if you'll excuse me. It's only a few more miles to New York. How do you feel? Alan? Alan, don't shut me out.
I don't have anything to say.
Honey, there's a rational explanation for all of this. There has to be. Dr. Matthews had a patient once who couldn't even remember her own name.
Please don't humor me.
She had no idea where she was or how she got there. When Dr. Matthews talked to her, she couldn't remember a thing about her life. But 2 weeks of treatment and she was all right again. It was a form of amnesia. You'll like Dr. Matthews.
Then kill. You must kill. Wrong, Walter. Wrong.
And he treated Sandy, my roommate. I don't know whether I told you about her. But anyway, she had a breakdown and...
Stop the car.
Are you going to be sick?
Yes, stop the car. Kill. No! Use what's at hand. A stick, a rock, anything. Jess, could you give me a hand here?
Where are you?
Over here.
What is it?
No, don't come any closer.
What?
Stay away from me. Get back in the car and drive away as fast as you can.
Alan, why are you holding that rock in your hand?
I'll see you at your apartment.
But how will you get there?
Never mind, just go. For God's sake. Jess, go. Now.
If that's what you want.
Run before I... Kill. Kill. No! Jess. Oh, Jess. Jess. What?
Mister, you all right? I didn't see you, honest. I came over the hill and... Hey, mister, can you stand up?
I'm okay. The fender just grazed me.
Yeah, but your sleeve, it's torn. How's your arm? You hurt bad?
I'm not sure.
Look, I'll drive you to a hospital.
No, I don't need a hospital. Take me to my place.
Where's that?
In the city, the Chesterfield Hotel. I'd rather see my own doctor.
Look, anything you say. Come on. You can lie down in the back seat. I got a first aid kit. Look, is that a bad cut?
No.
I still think you ought to see a doctor.
I will, as soon as we get there, but I'm not even bleeding.
Not on the outside, maybe. I've heard of accidents where you...
I'm fine. I'll sign anything you want, absolving you of all blame, okay?
Look, don't get sore, mister. I'm just worried about you is all.
Sorry to have been so much trouble.
Mister, I'm glad you're alive. Look, it's none of my business, but how come you were standing there in the middle of the road like that?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out. Yes?
Alan? Oh, darling. I've been calling every 15 minutes. I'm so worried about you. Are you all right?
I think so. I scraped my arm after you left, but I've got a bandage on it. Looks fine.
Oh, Alan, are you sure?
Yes, there's no bleeding.
How did you get home?
I caught a ride. Listen, Jess, why don't you just forget about me? I don't understand what's going on and...
You listen, Alan. I've made an appointment with Dr. Matthews for tomorrow morning. I'll pick you up at the hotel at 9:30.
You'd do that after everything that's happened?
You bet your life I would. Look, Mr. Talbot, I didn't plan to fall in love with you, but I did, and I'm stuck with it. for better or worse.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Want me to come over?
No, I'd like to be alone, think things through. I'll see you in the morning. Good night, Jess.
Good night, darling. And try not to worry. It's going to be all right.
There it is again. The noise. The noise. Where's it coming from? Where? My arm. What's wrong with my arm? Oh, no blood. Let's take off this bandage and see. What in the... There's no blood because this isn't real skin! It just peels back, and good Lord, I don't believe it! It's a circuit board! Hello? Hello, Alan. I've been waiting for you. You're real. That's a matter of opinion. Sit down, Alan. I'll fix us a drink. Go on. There's nothing to be afraid of. No? By the way, you almost killed me with those scissors. Did you know that? What scissors? I wish you'd succeeded, but nothing ever works out right for me. Scar's next to my heart. Close, but no cigar. Who are you? You already know that. You must. You found me. I looked you up in the phone book. Walter F. Cummings, Jr.? You've been to Corville. Yes. I saw your father's grave. So you know my name. That's all? That's all. Well, then you better have some of that martini. What is this place? You were born here in this house exactly 8 days ago. I made the delivery. You're drunk. My boy, you're so right. Drunk as a hootie owl, but not drunk enough. Join me in another? I guarantee no hangover. Wasn't that thoughtful of me? I'm in no mood for jokes, Cummings. That's a pity, because this whole thing is a joke. But you see, the joke's on me, and the essence of humor... Get to the point! Well, you've been to Corville, so you know that Alan Talbot never lived there. You know that you've been behaving oddly of late, and from the bandage around your arm, I judge you've figured out the rest. What more can I tell you? Who am I? You're nobody. You're nobody at all. Who is this watch I'm wearing? Ask me that. Who is the refrigerator in the kitchen? Don't you get it? No. You're a machine, Alan. A mechanical device. I don't believe you. Not even after you've seen what's under your skin. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either, but it's true. The fact is, you were born a long time ago inside my head. All kids have dreams, don't they? You're mine. A perfect artificial man. Not a robot, but a duplicate of an actual human being. You're still dreaming. Am I? It was harmless. Not even terribly imaginative for a child. But then I became an adult, only somewhere along the line I forgot to grow up. Like most geniuses, I kept my dream. Why don't you take off the training wheels and talk straight? I created you. Is that straight enough? You're not only drunk, you're crazy. Then how would you explain the circuits in your arm instead of flesh and blood? A prosthetic arm? I don't know. You expect me to believe I'm a machine? It's ridiculous. I eat, I drink, I sleep. I just told you I wanted a perfect creation. Come with me, Alan. Where? Downstairs. Let's call it the delivery room. You didn't think I whipped you up in my living room, did you? What is this room? My lab. Your birthplace. Over here, Alan. On the gurneys. Go ahead. Lift the sheets. No? Let me do it for you. What are they? Your brothers. Alan Talbot the first and Alan Talbot the second. You were number 3 in this batch. Hard to tell them apart, I know. They're only partially formed. I didn't add the finishing touches like circuitry. Call them factory rejects. Where'd you get the money for all this? Told you, I'm a genius. When I saw how much money I'd need, I developed a new kind of microchip. They turn out 300,000 or 400,000 a year. I get royalties. Money was the least of it. The failures, though. The failures, they were bad. I can't tell you how many times I had to start over. And you did it all by yourself? I'm afraid the day of the lone inventor is past. I had some of the best scientific minds in the world working for me. But of course they didn't take the project seriously. It was just a game to them. How to create a nervous system, how to duplicate a brain. With all its subtleties, mere reactions weren't enough. Intelligence is what I was after. My creation had to have abstract reasoning power, a past, all the intricate facets of personality multiplied by millions that make up true consciousness. Now, accomplishing this from scratch would have taken forever. So, I decided to use myself. So you're telling me I'm you? On some of your cells, I made certain impressions, my own memories, some of my talent, some of my knowledge, bits and pieces of myself.
It isn't possible. I'm me. This is my body.
Non-conductive plastic? Very lifelike. I've heard enough. Where are you going? Back to Corville? You lived there, of course. I gave you my memories of the town. Some of them were outdated. I left 20 years ago.
What about the university?
Fictitious. I had to give you a job.
And Aunt Mildred?
All the old women I've ever known rolled into one. After my parents died, I lived alone. The reputation as a Don Juan, I regret to say, is imaginary too. That's about it. You can fill in the rest, up to the last week anyway.
What happened then?
I wish I knew. Something went wrong. You attacked me with a pair of scissors and ran off. I've been unable to find you since.
What went wrong?
I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it's wrong with me too, because everything you know or think or feel reflects some portion of myself. And if you wanted to kill, it means part of me wants to kill. My own death wish inverted.
I don't have a death wish.
Everyone does. We're all potential suicides or murderers. We all have the seeds of paranoia inside of us. In giving you parts of myself, I unintentionally gave you my latent psychoses. Big ones. To put it another way, Alan, you're quite insane.
Then fix me.
I don't know if I can.
Why not?
Because, much as I hate to admit it, luck had a great deal to do with your creation.
You mean I was an accident?
Trial and error. It was like a blind man with a machine gun. I finally hit the target, but it was off center. I don't know if I could come that close again.
I thought you were a genius.
That's the story of my life. Success in the little things, failure in the big ones. I think what I really wanted was to build another Walter Cummings without the drawbacks. Sort of a reverse Jekyll and Hyde, loneliness, pain, all unknown. Alan, you were going to be perfect. That was the dream. That was the dream. A perfect version of myself.
Well, there's somebody else involved. A woman.
Does she know?
I took her to Corville. We were going to get married there. She thinks I'm on the verge of a nervous breakdown. She's in love with me.
Pretty?
And intelligent. And lonely. Like you.
I'm sorry, Alan.
Huh. That's a great consolation.
Even if I could fix you, she'd find out.
How?
Well, for one thing, she'd grow old and you wouldn't. For another, being a machine, you'd eventually wear out.
And those things never occurred to you?
I suppose I didn't think I'd succeed as well as I did. You can still make it right. I'd give anything if I could.
You can. You've got the tools, the instruments. You're going to build another Alan Talbot.
Too risky.
Only this time, you're going to get it right. One of these blanks, the rejects, with some modifications.
I don't know if I can.
With all that you know now, it'll be easy. He's going to walk out of here tonight, and he's going to marry a girl named Jessica, and for the first time in his miserable life, he's going to be happy. And so will she.
You don't understand. The process takes too much time.
There is no more time. Here, I'll write down her address. She was going to meet me tomorrow, but she'll be home now. Take it.
That's appropriate.
What is?
This pamphlet, The Way to Salvation. Where did you get it?
Somebody gave it to me. I was in...
Read this pamphlet. The devil means to have you, but I won't let him. I'll fight with you, mister, and we'll win.
My train.
The train to glory. Get on board.
What's wrong?
The noise! Make it stop!
Are you hearing something?
In my head, like computers and electricity.
It's your circuits. They're going bad.
And a train! Get on board! Walter, get on board!
Your eyes. Your eyes! Get away from me!
Now, Walter! Now! Don't, Alan. The equipment. You take the address. Promise me. Stop. You, Walter, it's the only way. Get out now and remember what you've learned. Try to remember.
Just a minute. Who is it?
I'm sorry to bother you, man, but see, like, I belong to the Junior Woodchucks, and...
Helen! Is it really you?
You are pretty.
I've been so worried.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I guess I never expected to see you again.
Disappointed?
Amazed. I mean, after this morning.
Forget this morning, I have. We're gonna start all over.
But Alan...
Please. It was a nightmare, that's all. Now you're awake and everything's gonna be fine. A second chance. A second chance for both of us.
Do you believe that?
Yes.
Then so do I. If you promise you'll tell me about it someday.
Someday. But now, how about a cup of coffee?
Coming up. And a couple of Mother Connolly's hand-fried eggs?
Well...
Guaranteed to make a new man of you.
In that case, yes.
Too late to fight this fire. The whole place is gone.
Whose was it?
There's some scientist guy named Cummings. Lived alone. He got out okay.
Well, no more laboratory for him. Burned to the ground.
What's this? Looks like a mannequin.
Crash test dummy, huh? Nothing but melted plastic.
Circuit's still going inside the head. Look at all those wires.
Leave it for the cleanup truck. Fire crew! Over here.
This has been the story of Walter Cummings, Jr., a.k.a. Alan Talbot. In a way, he succeeded with his life's ambition, even though the man he created was, after all, himself. But that creation is now relegated to the junk heap. One more failed experiment. While Mr. Cummings has been given another chance, for better or worse, there may be easier paths to self-improvement, but sometimes it happens that the shortest distance between 2 points is a crooked line, one that leads directly through the Twilight Zone.
We'll return to the Twilight Zone after these brief messages.
You are about to enter another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone. Hi, this is Stacy Keach. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our Twilight Zone website at twilightzoneradio.com. At twilightzoneradio.com, you'll find the latest information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas, including behind-the-scenes photographs, plus the newest product releases, trivia contests, ways to contact us, other Twilight Zone-related info and merchandise, plus links to other fascinating websites. So make your next stop twilightzoneradio.com.
Visit twilightzoneradio.com to purchase these Twilight Zone radio dramas on cassette and CD, or call toll-free 1-866-989-ZONE. That's 1-866-989-9663.